This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what debt settlement and debt relief services and should I use them. This is straight from the CFPB website. I wanted to make you aware of this because so many people are struggling right now with credit card debt. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. People are looking at different relief programs to get out of credit card debt. And so I want to just keep you educated of all the different options. And I want to clarify, make it very clear about what debt settlement companies can and cannot do because they make a lot of promises saying that there's some type of government program that is available to help you get out of credit card debt. And I want to let you know that there is no such government program, quote unquote, to help you get out of your credit card debt. So it all they're doing is doing a have a system of getting you into the position to be able to settle your debt. So this is straight from the CFPB website. Just because they say that it's risky doesn't mean that it's something that it cannot work for people. Their CFPB is not in the business of getting people out of debt. These companies are in the business of getting people out of debt. But what I want to do is educate you on what they can and cannot do when it comes to getting you out of debt and especially credit card debt because this is what they mainly focus on. All right, so here we go here. Debt settlement companies are companies that say they can negotiate, settle, or in some way change the terms of a person's debt to a creditor or debt collector. Dealing with debt settlement companies can be risky. This is in their opinion. The CFPB rule clarifying certain provisions of Fair Debt Collection Practices Act (FDCPA) became effective on November 30th, 2021. Basically, is what debt collectors can and cannot do. Debt settlement companies are also sometimes called debt relief or debt adjusting companies often claim they can negotiate with your creditors to reduce the amount you owe. Consider all of your options, including working with nonprofit credit counselors, which there have been a lot of issues with this because they cannot do any more than what a debt settlement company can do. And negotiating directly with your creditors, which some people can do if you have the wherewithal within you. That's why people go out to get services because they don't have the time or they don't even have the mindset to deal with these debt collectors or original creditors with the debt. They're under a lot of stress from not being able to pay these people, and now you're going to have them go and start negotiating. That's why these companies are around. Before agreeing to work with a debt settlement company, there are some risks that you should consider. Debt settlement companies often charge expensive fees. They usually charge upwards of 25%. This is from what I know with the companies that we know about. I'm not going to mention any names here, but 25%. So let me tell you how that looks like, what that looks like. If you settle a debt for 50%, they're going to tack on 25%. That means that really, in essence, for them handling your account, you're going to get out of debt with that company you're going to have a discount of 25%. If you're not paying 100%, that's worth it, but you need to understand that just because they settle the debt for 50% does not mean that you're paying just 50%. A lot of people get confused with that. And also, you need to be aware of this is that if they settle it for 50% and you don't have the additional 25%, some of those companies will make you go and get another additional loan, or they will not settle the debt. They'll say that you don't have enough money to settle the debt. So you need to be aware of that. Next, debt settlement companies typically encourage you to stop paying your credit card bills. See, you see this right here. They want you to stop paying them. So there's no way that you can save your credit and go through debt settlement at the same time. If you stop paying your bills, you will usually incur late fees, penalties, interest, and other charges, and creditors will likely take steps to step up their collection efforts against you, which means that they can sue you, take you to court, and these debt settlement companies do not represent you in court. So you can get a judgment placed against you. And some of your creditors may refuse to work with company with the company you choose. The reason why they may choose not to deal with them is because they have backed out on settlement. So if your original creditor or debt collection company says, "Hey, we will settle this debt for 50 cents on the dollar or 25 cents on the dollar," and you don't have the 25% that the debt settlement company wants, they're not going to take the settlement. They're going to say that you don't have enough money to settle. And what they mean by that is you don't have enough money with our fee to settle. The creditors and debt collectors get upset with that, and they don't like that that happens, and they choose not to deal with those companies. This is what it states right here. You don't have to take my word on it. When we do this, we just charge a one-time fee, and we try to get the best settlement. So no, so if you owe $10,000 and they came back and they said they want to settle it for $5,000, the only amount you'd have to pay my company is $250. We charge 250 flat fee per account, no matter how long it takes to settle that debt. And we could usually get the job done quickly if you had to all of your debts, and that's because of the 25% that they tack on to each debt. So it's not for one debt. So if you got 10 debts in there, it's going to be 25% times 10 for settling that debt. If you do business with a debt settlement company, the company may tell you to put the money into a dedicated bank account, which will be managed by a third party. You may be charged a fee for using that account. A lot of people don't know that. So you might be saying, "I'm putting this money up. Why don't I have enough money to settle?" This is the reasons behind it. Working with a debt settlement company may lead to creditors filing a debt collection lawsuit against you. I just mentioned that above. Unless the debt settlement company settles all or most of your debt, the built up penalties and fees on the unsettled debt may wipe out the savings the debt settlement company achieved on settling the other debts. Using debt settlement companies can have a negative impact on your credit score. See, you cannot repair your credit. I mean, you cannot go through debt settlement and have good credit at the same time. So here's a warning. Debt settlement companies may leave you deeper in debt than you were when you started. Most debt settlement companies will ask you to stop paying your debts in order to get creditors to negotiate and collect the funds required for a settlement. This will take time because you have to build up that escrow account for doing settlements. This can have a negative effect on your credit score and may result in creditors or debt collectors filing lawsuits while you are collecting while you are collecting settlement funds. And if you stop making the payments on the credit card, late fees, interest will add up each month. That will add to the debt each month. If you exceed your credit limit, additional fees and charges may apply. This can cause your original debt to increase. So here's an example. Say that you have a $10,000 limit on your credit card. When you went into the debt settlement program, it was at $10,000. But when you stopped paying it, then they started adding on it started adding on fees because you didn't continue paying. You're going to have late fees, you're going to have additional fees, and when you go over with the late fees, you're going to have excessive limit fees. And these are 100% legal for the credit card companies to tack on to the total amount of debt that you owe them. So they just have some warnings here about avoiding companies who say that they charges any fees before it settles your debt. They're not allowed to charge any fees, but they're going to tack on that 25% after they settle your account. Represent that they can settle all your debts for a promised percentage. We never do that. No other companies can do that. Touts a new government program from the bailout of credit card debt. That this is not true. Guarantees it can make your debts go away. It's not true. Tells you to stop communicating with your creditors. This is something that you can do if they get a power of attorney and they start communicating directly with them. That's the way that we do it because you don't want to take the calls. They're going to get you in an uproar. You need to have someone in between that can let them know what you're working on. Tells you that they can stop the lawsuits. They cannot stop the lawsuits. What we do is we have a service where we will respond to the lawsuits and guarantees that your unsecured debts can be settled for pennies on the dollar. Uh, That's technically not true. Depending on who purchases the debt, it can be settled for a lot less. So uh, I hope that this kind of clarifies it, can help you in making your decisions on if you're going to be working with a debt settlement company or if you would like to work with our company. Just to be clear, it would be $250 per account. If the accounts are smaller accounts, then you would probably benefit more by working with our credit repair services side. And if you would like to work with us with repairing your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit report score, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you who have purchased your debt, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, cease and desist collection activities letter, and debt validation letter. I do ask for a donation with those because those letters can literally save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars from debt that has been purchased by debt collectors. Please use the letter that is appropriate for your situation. The instructions are on those letters. Thank you for your time. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.